the NCARC Hamfest or Swap Fest, whatever they call it, up at uh, the ranch up at the Budweiser Center. It's a ranch. I understand it's a blue something now, but it's the same place as we've been up there. You can go to their website, NCARC, Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club, and uh, we'll be there. DRC will be there. We've got a couple tables, and we'll have some of our wares to hopefully sell. And I've got flyers for our ham fest, so we always try to get started early and get them out because people put them on their get them in their calendars, so we get a good turnout at our ham fest, which will be August 25th at Adams County. And then in February, the Rocky Mountain Ham Radio has their Swap Fest, and that's also at Adams County. That'll be Sunday, February 18th, and it's from 9 to 1. And also you can go to their website. I've got one of their flyers here. Admission $6. Doors open to the public at 9. 6-foot tables are 13, and tables at the door are 20. And they always have a good ham fest. So they support us. We encourage everybody to get out and support the Rocky Mountain Ham. What actually happened there, I guess, is the Aurora Repeater Association kind of disbanded, I guess you would say. And so Rocky Mountain Ham kind of picked it up. Let's see, do I have anything else? Not really. Jeff, any news yet there? No?
No, we have one participant ghost ride the whip with an open mic. That isn't you, Karen, by chance, is it?
I wouldn't.
Karen Thompson, are you on? Well, I don't know what we're going to do, guys. Not prepared to do anything for 45 minutes. We can just, is there any questions about the club, about the repeaters, about anything? I will mention that we're having an issue with the 449.35 repeater. I don't think there's anything wrong with the repeater. We kind of think we've got an issue with maybe a connector or possibly the antenna. The sensitivity, the repeater transmits fine. The sensitivity goes up and down. It goes from nearly normal to not so normal. And so if you're using the 3.5 and it's noisy, that's probably what's going on. If any of you that know Squaw Mountain, 11,400 feet, I believe it is, and we're up there, our receive antenna is on the very top of the 100-foot tower. And it's not an easy place, even in the summertime, to get to, let alone the wintertime, with a lot of snow and wind. Going up there in the summer, the road has not been maintained for years, and it is very four-wheel drive, and that's like with a vehicle with a lot of clearance. So we're just trying to figure out what we can do. If anybody out there has access to snowmobiles, we would sure like to hear from you. That would be possibly one option to get in there. Or, like a snowcat would be obviously the best, but they're kind of few and far between. I know a guy, I think, that has one, and I haven't been able to contact him yet. But so if the 3.5 repeater, yeah, like I say, if it's not working up to par, that's why. We know about it, and that's kind of where we're at. I don't know if Karen showed up here. Speak up if you did, Karen. With that,
Hey,
any questions that
Jerry,
myself or one of the board members? Yeah.
did you get my email about the key to the shed at the fire station?
No, I didn't.
Well,
I-
basically the key's in my house right now because the whole locking mechanism dropped into the snow, and I'm letting it dry out, thaw out, and I'll put it back there tomorrow. So if anyone needs to get to the shed at the fire station, call me tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm
Okay, you
hoping
can take care of it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the gate's locked, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks for. I probably the email's there, but I didn't. I haven't looked at it yet.
You're busy.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of spare time.
Just to clarify, Jerry, it's Mesta if anybody's looking for it on a map.
Okay. Well, I was saying Squaw Mountain. It's like Jeffco Airport. It's still Jeffco Airport to me, and I think it'll always be Squaw Mountain to me. So
It's no longer
Although it
politically
is,
correct.
yeah, okay. Shoot me, huh? I understand. Yeah. Okay. Anything I could answer? One of the board members. I see we got Dave on. Jeff's here. Kevin's here. Who else? Any burning questions? We can burn a little time here, and we won't carry this on forever. If
Yeah, I apologize. They had a
Yeah.
very sophisticated automated system for booking this, and I thought sure she'd be here.
well, I just recently purchased a piece of software from them, and I know going to the website, there's a block right on their website about them doing presentations. So I don't know what's happened, but we've done the best we can. My fear is always that this would happen, and it did. So, anybody knows for a fill here for a few minutes?
I could talk about
Dave,
some of the updates we did on the website recently.
yeah, go right ahead.
All right, so thanks to several of our members, we've been working on the back end of our website. The hosting service that we've been on for so long, we just had some really challenges when we started turning up the requirements that we need to build out a really nice website. Their back-end systems just couldn't handle it, and they had us install different applications to try to supplement, frankly, their inability to meet just even the basic needs. And we struggled for a while trying to do what they asked us to do, and we just could not improve. The speed was slow. I don't know if you guys ever been on the website and noticed how long it takes for images to load, and sometimes just a whole page to load. And some of our problems were that even if you made a change to a page, it would crash the entire site. So it was just really bad. So we bit the bullet and did the move to a new hosting service. And we got that done. I think it was last week, maybe the week prior. I can't remember. But it was amazing how much better it is. And if you go there today, the speed is just like any other website should be. It's really good. Some of the things that makes it really noticeable is our backups we're taking on the old site were anywhere from 8 to 10 hours to do a backup, where today, I think if you guys are on here, remind me, but it's something like an hour or 2 hours, something like that. So, I mean, just that alone just was incredibly fast. Some of our updates were taking hours and hours to do updates. Now they're within microseconds to do. So it's really improved quite a bit. It's all a bunch of stuff that you don't see, but it's super valuable, and it took a lot of work to get it done. And we're now at a point where we can start now focusing on the stuff that you can see. So thanks for everyone's patience. I'll start there. And it is a night and day difference. If you've if you've been struggling with it as long as I have, it's just like a breath of fresh air. So those guys really did a great service for us. So thanks a lot. That's all I have, unless someone has a question or anything.
Okay, thanks, Mark. I saw something pop up. Somebody had a comment.
That one is a basic video about RT systems. There is another video Karin did for another club in February. We could also play that.
Well, any other questions? Anything? Any other board members want to say something, or we'll play the video for a while. And I will apologize, but stuff happens. So I guess it happened.
And Daron, do you want to play that when she did that presentation in Atlanta?
Yes.
Or I can do it.
Yes, I can do that here.
Jerome,
Cue it up to
okay.
8 minutes, 25 seconds. That's where she starts.
Okay, so we'll play that and then
Well,
come back
I'll
in
hold
8
for
minutes.
questions. If there's anybody has a question for about anything, let's give it a couple beats.
Yeah, I thought I asked, but nobody.
But yeah, we just got to wait for them to.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody?
Just a quick comment. You may remember the television program, What's My Line? Ran for many, many, many years, a long time ago. It was a game show, and one feature of it was a mystery guest that they would bring in somebody like Danny Kaye or whatever, and the panelists were blindfolded. The last mystery guest on the last program was the host, a man named John Daly. And the reason was he was the backup. In case one of their scheduled mystery guests didn't show up, he was going to be the backup. So they would never let him be the mystery guest until the last show. So, Jerry, I'm sorry, you need to be prepared so that you can be the mystery guest in case this ever happens again.
Yeah, we need to have something, and we'll definitely work on that. Have something in our back pocket to fill in. It's always obviously been my fear that this would happen, and we've had a couple close calls, but it's always worked out. So thanks for that, Tom. That's I mean, I'm old enough. I remember What's My Line, and so I hate to admit that, but I do. Daron, are we ready to roll
Yeah, let me see.
presentation? All right. Well, this is kind of sort of what we're supposed to have live, so go ahead.
It'll take just a moment here.
Sure.
So this is Karin giving a presentation to the Atlanta Radio Club. You can find that on their YouTube. So we will play this here.
Actually, things got much better this afternoon, but all of you will forgive me if I'm a little rough at times. I'm glad I can talk as well as I can. I'm really flattered that you guys wanted me to tell you about RT systems. It's one of my favorite topics. Rob had asked some very poignant questions, and so let me get to just the basics of it. In 1995, Daisu came out with a poster showing the FT11 and the FT51. Instead, the radios cloned. And my husband, Rod Thompson, took one look at that and said, I wonder if we can get it to talk to a computer. And he did. And the rest is history. With that one thing, I feel we changed the face of amateur radio, because there's not a radio made today that doesn't program from the computer. We don't do every one of them. We do 518 of them. which is quite a collection. We are constantly chasing radios. And one of the things we have compared to other tech support, other companies, is when you call and ask me a question about your radio, the first thing I'm going to do is go get the radio and look at the buttons you're pressing. We had somebody today that couldn't get a 6000 to work, and we talked to him and we got the radio, and we realized he was pushing the button on the radio before the program told him to push the button, and it was making it error out. And something as simple as that we never would have figured out had we not had the radio to be able to generate the same error. And like I said, it's one of the biggest advantages we have. And Rob had also asked, what radios do we do? We do radios we're asked about. We generally do the ones for the major manufacturers, Kenwood, Yaesu, ICOM, Linko, when we hear about them, when we know about them. Those are pretty much givens. And then all the rest of them, all these Chinese companies, it's when you guys ask us about them. And that's the only way we know the radio exists. We get nothing in advance from the major companies or from anybody else. We buy the radio and that's where we start. And you wonder why there's not software when the radio first comes out. It's because we don't have a radio. We don't get anything in advance. And so our first look at the radio is when they hit the market. And we then work with it, figure out how it works and figure out the interface for it and go from there. Development can take a week for something that's easy to 6 months for something that's very complicated. So it gets to be really interesting. We're working with these radios on a level that y'all wouldn't imagine that we work on. Absolutely at a point that if we do something wrong, we lose radios, and we don't. In 27 years we've been doing this.
Karin, I think John, is Karin coming in, fading in and out? John,
A little bit.
sorry,
I've picked up most of what she's saying. It's a little in and out.
Let's see if that is that a little better.
yeah, I think it's better.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to my microphone.
Uh,
In the 27 years we've been doing this, we have maybe lost a half dozen radios. And generally we lose them before we present anything that you could. And that's why there are warnings in the program. You can't send to the radio if the VFO is empty. You would not believe how that stumps people. What am I supposed to put in it? Well, it's a 2-meter VFO. Pick a frequency. And we even move you to the screen, to the box that needs attention. And it baffles me, but we help them through it. We get them a frequency and then the file goes to the radio. But if the file went to the radio without that, the radio would cease to be a radio. You could build a house with it. You would have a brick. So, and we've 27 years and we do all we can not to let that happen. Yeah, we may set something a little strange or something else a little strange. And you tell us that because we can't test every single combination. But tell us if something doesn't work together quite right. But it's just that it'll misbehave a little bit. A color will change wrong or it won't scan quite right. These kind of things. So like I said, we're very careful with these radios. And like I said, I have them all. But some other things I wanted to show you about the programmers. Let's see how long I'm going to last here. Hang on, let me share my screen. That's not where I wanted to go. Okay. So you can see my screen. and see the programmer, the 6000 programmer? Actually, I'm hoping to do now. This is the FTM 400. Are you still with me?
Yes, we can see everything.
Okay. And the thing I wanted to show you is the fact that the programmer reflects the radio. I happen to have two Yaesus here. And the FTM 6000, you notice, has one bucket of memories. The FTM 400 has two buckets of memories. And if you think about the radio, it's got a top and a bottom. Some ICOM radios have a left and a right, but they'll still only have one bucket. It's just the design of the radio. Now, we can think of lots of ways for you to get 2 meters on one side and 440 on the other if that's what you want, but it gets a little tricky doing that. Okay. The other thing about the programmers, always remember that the grid is not all of your radio. That was settings, radio menu settings, and you come up with the rest of the settings in your radio. So there's not, oh, I'll set that on the face of the radio and save it. It just doesn't work that way. Guys, looking at the screen, it looks like Mike has got control of the microphone and control of the audio. I don't think you're hearing me.
We are.
You are hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, the screen just didn't look right. Okay. Other things built into the program under File and External Data: radio reference, which does require a subscription; repeater book, which is free. I'll do Boston because it's there. It brings me back a list. I can drop out what I don't want just by clicking on it. And I can create the file. And just that quick, I have a lot of frequencies for around Boston. 236. Sure couldn't enter them by hand that quickly. In the Windows program, these are all in numerical order. And let's sort them by name. And now all the call signs came together, and the radio doesn't care that it changes bands and frequencies one after the other. And it just gives you a better list to work with. So there are lots of things the program can do. And I'm going to have to make this short tonight. I can tell my voice isn't going to last. This is my webpage, rtsystemsinc.com. We have an extensive knowledge base, and we have these how-to videos right here under this link.
Not looking at the, we don't see the website or the link.
Okay.
Still on your program.
Let me see if I can bring it up this way.
Karin, if we have a question, do you want us to interrupt you or hold them to the end of the program?
You are welcome to interrupt me. What's up?
Are these frequencies something you have in a database, or are they coming off a radio reference? Where are these frequencies stored at?
The ones for radio reference are stored on his website. The ones for repeater book are stored on his website. The ones for RFinder are his list. Those are all internet based.
Okay.
So this came from repeater book.
Okay. I'm a scanner person, so I use radio reference a lot. And this looks very familiar, is why I asked.
Let me show you another thing, being a scanner person. Don't do that. I can do edit and add frequency range. And I can put in 100 channels, or let's not do that. Let's put in 25 channels. And tell it okay. And it's stepped by 5 kilohertz steps, and just put everything in. So if on your amateur radios you wanted to scan in a range, you could just put them right into memory and let it scan. Okay, can you see my web page now? Did I get it in the right place this time?
No, I see it like a spreadsheet.
Okay,
It's in the center of the screen now.
information.
I got one that I hear often is, why does RT Systems make their own cables, and why are they so expensive?
Because they're American made, they're high quality, and we are no longer tied to our cables. We'll let you use any piece of junk you want to go out there and find, and good luck. Make sure you get the right electronics, the right wiring, and the right connection at the radio. All 3 of those play into a cable working or not working. We spend a lot of time figuring these out and designing them, and they work. And besides the fact, at the price of the cable, which is $24 in the kit, you got somebody you can call. You get a replacement if we determine it is a problem with the cable. You get a pickup label for the bad one to come back. I could just cease all of that and put software on the web page and leave it at that. So cables are a big deal, and we have opened up the software so you can find the drivers for the cable that you bought. You can determine the COM port for the cable that you bought and assign it in the software. And then you can determine whether it's the right cable for your radio, because it may or may not be. I do a video on cables, and I show a half a dozen cables, all with the exact same pin spacing. And I show how 2 of the 6 work and the rest of them don't. So that's, you have that option, and we've put it in the program. So you do have that option now, because we know USB has gotten a little better now than it was when we first started in 2009. There was circuitry that would hold bits, and the radio can't stand that. The radio's got to have it in the radio's timing, and our circuitry is designed to give the radio what it wants as it wants it. And there were boards that would hold bits, there were boards that would add bits, there were boards that would do all kinds of things. And we said, fine, nope, this isn't going to happen. And we tied down to our cables. You don't have to do COM port setup. We automatically find it. We know it's there, and we know it's the right connection for the radio. So it's been working well for all these years, but lately we just decided to go ahead and open it up and let all the others be used.
No, I appreciate that. And I didn't mean to pounce on you. I've got several RT Systems, several of you software for different radios, and I've got your cables for all of them, because I know that they're guaranteed to work together. So
they are. And the other thing is, remember, anytime you can come to my page, you can go to a cable for anything, and on here, and you see this one cable, I picked a good example. This one cable works with all of these radios. So once you have it once, you have the cable. But you can, this complete RT product guide, it's great information. It shows you that list of radios that works with a certain cable, shows you what color the cables are, these kind of pieces of information. It's good reference, especially in PDF. So
Another question. Excuse me.
yes.
I know at one time you did not do DMR radios. Is that still the case?
No, we do DMR radios. We've been doing them for almost a year now.
Ah, okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a longtime user of RT systems, and I probably got at least 10 versions of your software for different radios. And I have to say it works great. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Now, the DMR is complicated in itself because of the file structure of those radios. So as far as the ease of copying from one to the other to set it up, it is not nearly as easy, purely because you can still copy them in, but then you got to set up your zones. You got to make sure your talk groups are set up. You got to make sure your talk groups are on your channels the way you want them. So there's a lot more to that file setup. But with the column editing that you can do, it can be real easy to do in the program. Like APRS is set up on a per channel basis. And all you have to do is set it up once and copy it and paste it down the whole row. You can set it up for 200 channels in less than 10 seconds. A whole lot better than picking each one at the time and telling it to do APRS.
Yeah.
So as an example, other things can be done the same way. I was setting up somebody's file one day, working with it, and he had 17 repeaters on which he wanted the same 5 talk groups. Well, once I did the first one, then all I had to do was enter the second frequency and copy the talk groups and paste that 5 down into it, and then paste it down into the next ones and paste it down into the next ones. And you can do that kind of copy and paste and it'll do just fine with it. So it's easier in that respect, but it's still complicated. And in my knowledge base, this one I like to show off, DMR. I have basic file creation, and these videos, these are about 6 or 7 10-minute videos of setting up a DMR file. I point people to these all the time.
Karin, when Ed, you said that you're seeing the website.
No, it's not up again.
Okay.
It's gone away again. Sorry, I
Uh,
just didn't share the screen right. Sorry.
We see your cursor moving around.
Huh, I don't know. We'll just,
Close out of
when I asked it to share the screen,
and writing all the software.
that package the packages that you see at HRO, that I have someone who does production who makes cables all day, every day. There we go. There's my site. I have 4 people in tech support besides me and Rod. So there's 6 people in tech support. I'm down to 1 developer along with Rod right now. We're actually hiring, looking for some good developers. I have a graphic artist, secretaries, and we do a lot for the few of us that are there.
No, you definitely do, especially with one developer. I see that you've supporting the Mac now. Very nice.
We've got about 35 in the that have gone to Mac. Yep, and I hate to say it, but every day we talk about not supporting the Mac. With the changes they make with each change, it's a challenge to say the least.
Is that the same? Is it the same developer writing the code for both platforms?
No, one of them writes only for Windows and the other one does both platforms.
Is the Windows
Yeah,
stuff
that-
done using
That makes sense.
Visual Studio Code and
And you,
C#?
I've got one last one.
Sorry, this is not live for anyone joining here. Karin was not able to make it. Sorry about that. So this is a video from the Atlanta radio group she gave on the same talk. Sorry about that.
Darn. Oh,
Some of us have been playing with the code plugs on the TYT, trying to on our own just figure out, what's in the code plug when we've got the binary sitting on the computer, and we're trying to decode the whole thing, and not looking for company secrets, but you did an amazing. It seems to me like it's miracle work that you do to go into these things totally blind and come up with everything and find everything. And I was just wondering if there was anything you want to say about that.
He's been doing it for 27 years. And because of that, he sees things that somebody new at it wouldn't. So that's the big reason he can see in them what he sees, is because he's been at it for so long.
Yeah, experience definitely helps.
Yep.
Did I see on the website that you do 512 radios?
Yeah, it's short. It's up to 518 now.
Oh, wow. That's remarkable.
Yep. It's quite a collection.
And you personally will take calls on all of them and know what to look for?
Do not call me. I have 4 people in tech support. You'll get me during lunch. You might get me after hours, but that's what I pay my tech support people for. And if they don't know, they'll figure it out. And that's what I'm there for, is to support them, because they've got to learn how to do it. But it's everything from, let's see, what's one of my favorites? My 4100, the screen goes blank. Okay. Turned out he was pushing the button for bank mode, and he had no names in the banks. So it was bringing up, which bank do you want to select? And they were all blank. And he had no idea what he was doing. Took me 2 or 3 hours to figure that one out. Had somebody today that couldn't see all their memories in the 991. Again, it was bank mode. Helped him know how to turn it on, turn it off, and use it if he wanted it. So those are the kind of things we do that are beyond the programmer.
Nice. So do the people work at your location, or are you spread around?
You have to work at our location. How else are you going to have access to the radios?
That's true. Good point. Good point.
Yep.
Anybody
No.
else out there before we lose Karin? There's so much going on here. It's what I say every week, every month. Someone's got to have more questions.
So you actually have one of every radio you support.
One of some and 5, 10, 15 of others.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I stopped counting a long time ago. Put it this way, when we moved from Colorado and we're designing the new office, where the radios were going to live was a significant consideration. It was almost more of a consideration than where the people were going to sit. So, yep, it's quite a library of radios, to say the least.
A lot of real estate there.
Yeah. Well, you haven't asked the most interesting question, why LaGrange? And that's because I grew up here. I got to come home.
I was wondering.
Yep, got to come home.
That's one reason why I contacted you. Is you were a Georgia company, and so that gives us a little in common. You members of the radio club down there?
I am. Yep. Yes, I support them in the Columbus Club, and I do some things with the club in Noonan. So, but we do programming 24/7. So unfortunately, we don't get a lot of radio time. We stopped doing radio when it was so strict about not talking about business. And as soon as we'd pick up a microphone, people would ask us about business, and we didn't want to get in trouble over that. So we have been off the air for virtually 25 years. You might find me checking into a net occasionally, but you won't find anything else.
Yeah, that pecuniary interest, yeah, clause.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every time. Anyone else?
Do you have any how-to books?
Do I have what?
Any how-to books to help program a certain radio?
I don't have how-tos
Jerome, should
per
we stop
se
this now?
for radio. I have.
It is mostly Q&A for the next half hour.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's sort of, we're
Yep.
well into that. That was something, but we'll have to check in to see what happened. If you didn't see, Jeff, I forgot in all the confusion to mention about our HRO gift certificate that we give out at the meeting. So there's a link in the chat. We'll give you just a bit if you didn't see his information come up. You do have to be a DRC member to win, and as most of you are. So look in the chat. There's a link. We'll give you a minute to, if you choose to enter. We electronically spin the names, and it picks one out. So it's electronically random. How many we got, Jeff?
6 hole, make it 7 now, 7 hole entries.
7? Okay. If
8
you're a
now.
member, you want to get in for the drawing, jump in there.
Yeah, Peter will
Apologize for the
send that link again.
mix up tonight, but that's
And I might unlist
what
the
happens.
video or delete the video and then give her another opportunity if she wanted to. But
yeah, hopefully we'll hear from her, and
We
when
can
she
reschedule.
realizes she stood
can
us
re-
up. So
We can reschedule. I think it'd be interesting if they would maybe do a video of the inside of their facility. I'll suggest they do that.
yeah, maybe so. Well, we talk to her and see what happened. So, somebody could have got sick. Somebody, 1,000 things could happen. I would think they would, being what they do, they'd be pretty reliable with it. But things happen. So it happened to us, I guess.
and that is to say to everyone, if anybody has any presentations they ever want to give, we are always happy to take those. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, let us know.
Absolutely. Where we at, Jeff? Anybody, last chance to get your name in the hat? Any other questions or comments while we're doing that? So, yeah, it's difficult to come up with quality programs, and everybody on here tonight has you got other avenues that you explore, and if you see anything that you think would be of interest, make a good presentation, please let me know. Let Jeff does our scheduling, so let him know, let me know, let one of the board members know, because it's difficult to get good quality stuff. So keep that in mind. I'll just tell you a quick story, and I don't know if Jeff's followed up on it yet or not, but I I was on I've been recently messing with Vara. If anybody knows, Vara is like PSK 31, but it's, I guess you say more, it's error corrected, it's keyboard. I'm a CW operator mostly, but Vara is a real nice change. And like I say, it's real similar to PSK 31 if you ever done that. And I was talking to a guy I can't remember where he was, but anyway, I'm looking at, I always bring up his QRZ page, whoever I'm talking to, because I log on QRZ. And anyway, I see his banner on QRZ, and it says he is into AMSAT stuff, satellites. So, and it went on to say that he does presentations for clubs. And I thought, okay. So I contacted him, and he said, yeah, I'd be glad. Oh, he's down in Texas. He's down by Fort Worth or Dallas, Dallas, Fort Worth area. And anyway, I just happened to see it, and hopefully it'll make us a good program. Jeff, where are we at, my friend? Am I talking to myself?
I can hear you.
We're
Okay.
up to 14 now. We want to call it, and I can spin the.
Yeah, I think everybody's had a chance. So go ahead and spin the bucket and see who the lucky winner is.
Okay, here we go. And the winner is Dave Basinger, the emeritus Dave Basinger.
Dave Basinger. Okay. I know him, I think. Met him before. Congratulations, Dave. WG0N. So congrats. You can go down to HRO and put that 25 with 1,000 and buy something.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, congrats.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks everybody. Jerome, thanks for what you're doing, and Jeff, and our board members, and working hard to try to get some fun things to do this summer. Last year the DRC Saturday was it's kind of Mark's deal, and said, well, we'll try this and see, and it was very successful. I think we did 4 programs, I believe, and or not programs, but field stuff, and it said, well, okay, that works good. We're going to continue to do this, so we're going to work those in along with field day and Parks on the Air and Hamfest and all that. So we ought to be able to keep you busy this summer. With that, I'll say good evening. Thank you, everybody. Sorry we had a little mix up there, but all in all, I think it worked out. And good night. Stay warm. 7-3.
Thanks.
73. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.